Okay guys, as it says in the directions, we're going to create 5 different objects to create the dead trees. So right now I just have my image showing. I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to call it dead trees. And I'm going to begin creating these using the pen tool. Okay, so the 5 objects we're going to create are this big tree, this little stump, this other little stumpy tree, and this background sort of ground part. Let's see, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, we're only going to create 4. Maybe I lied in the directions. And then we're going to duplicate the big tree and scale it down because this little tree right here, the medium-sized one, is the same exact tree as that one. So why create it twice? If you look closely, though, at the base of the big tree and the medium tree, you can see little minute differences. Over here on the left also it gets cut off. You can't see that this tree goes down here, so we'll adjust that when we get there. But for now, let's just start creating this big tree. So I'm going to grab my pen tool, which I have buried. It's right here, and I'm going to make sure that my swatch is set to black, and then I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to start creating. So the key to the pen tool is using it to create the curvature. And again guys, this does not have to be perfect. Most of the time I'm going to click and drag so I get handles. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just keep doing this until I come up to certain points. And at some point I'm going to hit pause in the video. So anytime you have a straight line, go ahead and create. You don't need to click a bunch of times. In fact, you can experiment with just pulling these out a little bit differently. When you get to a point you can't see where you're going to click, you should know that you can go to your transparency window and drop the transparency down, and then you're able to click, click, click. I've got a little peak here, so I'm going to go click and release, click. So as you can see, I'm just going to where the ends are and clicking and dragging and allowing the tool to create the curvature rather than clicking 1,000 times. That's a little off, but again, I don't really care about that. I want you to understand how to use this tool and alternating just clicking and creating the curvature or straight lines and peaks and sharp turns, and that's what this tool is about, and that's what you need to learn. Now I know we did some things a little bit different when we did the pine tree, and we used the anchor point tool to go back and basically convert it and break the handles apart, but if we wanted to do that on this object, it would take a lot of time. So I'm trying to create the curvature as we go, so I don't have to go back through and convert the points at all. I just want to do it once and be done with it. So again, I'm not concerned about being super perfect. I am concerned about understanding how to click and drag to create the curves the best that we can. So when we get to this point, now we got a little curve right there, I'm going to allow there. I don't know what's going on because my dang bird is in the way, so I'm going to imagine it comes to like right here and makes a turn. If you really want to, you can go look at the medium tree that we're going to use, or we're going to create by duplicating this object. So I'm just sort of making it up for now, because at this point, because it is hidden by the bird, it's not going to matter. We got a little curve there. So I'm always sort of pulling in the direction of where the next anchor point is going to be placed and sort of splitting the difference. You'll get used to it. It takes a little bit of getting used to. But I'm going to hit the pause button on the video right now so I can finish this up and not bore you guys too much. When I get down to the bottom here, I'm just going to finish by following that line all the way off my canvas. I'm going to make this guy a little bit bigger, and I'm going all the way back around. So I'm going to finish where I started and then zoom out. You'll see I have the whole tree. And then at this point I can copy and paste. So Control C, Control F, paste in front. I'm going to move this here, and I'm going to scale it down. And when I do this, I have to hold down Shift so I don't squash and stretch my work. Get it down to approximately the size of this guy, and then I'm going to move it in here, and I can see I still have a little bit of scaling to do. Again, just get it close. You can also see that it's been rotated slightly. So whoever created this duplicated and rotated it slightly, maybe a little bit more. Oops, I'm going to move it up. Oh, I went in isolation mode. I clicked twice too fast. And that's pretty close right now. You can also see that because, again, we were cut off by the left side of the artboard, we've got an additional piece here. That's okay. We can draw that separately as a separate piece if we want. No worries. I think I need to scale it down just a little bit more. About right there. And that's in pretty good shape. At this point, I'm just going to use the pen tool to create the other objects the same way. I don't feel like I need to record that to show you. If you do this tree, you should get it. But I'm going to come back in at the end to show how to do just that whole bottom row, that silhouette of the ground, and finish this thing up. Okay, now we're going to finish up this thing by creating the ground. You can see all the objects I've created. Most of them, except for this tree, I've finished them off by going down below the base of the artboard so I can see where they are. But another thing you can do so that you know where the gaps are that need to be filled is to go unlock your image file, grab your image object, and take the transparency or the opacity down pretty far so you can still see the outline, but you can see those gaps. Okay, so I'm going to lock that up again, go back up to my real layer, and I'm going to zoom in to the right side, and I'm just going to start drawing again with that pen tool. So boom, boom, very quickly. And right here, I'm just trying to go basically peaks and valleys. Click, hold, drag. There's a little peak there, curve there. Again, I keep saying this. Oh, there's the bell. Get it close. Understand how the tool works. Oops, I don't like that angle. And I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to try to blend that in a little bit there. I'm going to cheat a little bit. Over there. I feel like I'm almost done. I'm getting there. I can see the tree. I can see the way home. Fill in that gap right there. Take a look. Good enough. And then all the way back to the beginning. And then we're done with the tree part, the dead trees. Bring my image back up to 100%. Take a look. And it's pretty good. Now, obviously, we still have to do the bird, so I'm not worried about these limbs right here.